Welcome back. No means nerds. No means no bodies. No means no nicks. To the no means no thing. No means nothing podcast. The podcast where three absolute fucking morons do their very, very best to determine the greatest no means no song of all time. Spoilers, there isn't one. No. I am one of your hosts, Jordan.
Hi, I'm Matthew.
Okay, I'm Michelle. What the hell?
And together we make the Voltron that is this podcast. And we're excited to be back for your monthly entry, I guess now. Hey, I'm going to right up front, just a quick shout out to Scott McFall, especially, and any of our other friends on the East Coast, Southeast Coast, who just got totally fucked by Hurricane Helene.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Well, I know Scott wasn't, right? Like, he had to move a state away, like, with all of his family. Their town got fucked. Like, so many people have just gotten fucked by that thing. So if you're affected by that, man, I am so sorry. What a fucking drag. What a drag. So thoughts out to you, man, and to everyone else for what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you are. I'm glad you're safe, but hope that the cleanup is not as egregious as it might be.
And I hope that all of that process crosses all political lines. That shit is not important.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, it will on one side at least. But in any event, we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we do, of course, we're going to talk about what we're drinking. And tonight I've poured myself a nice, stiff, tall, 3 ice cube glass, because it's so fucking hot, of the whiskey, the normal kind.
Yeah, it's 2 fingers, easy.
Yeah, I need it. It's been a day, been a
Nice.
week, been a month. So I'm going to have this. Michelle, please pop that shit right in my ears. Oh, baby.
Oh my God. Just so you know, this is a fake Guinness.
All right, I'll take it though. It sounded
But
real
it
enough.
still has all the sound effects, and
It's
it
got a
still
real
pours
widget.
the same. It's got a widget. It pours the same. There it is in the can.
Widget.
Now it's going to go into my can.
Nice. That was good. That was a Class A dad joke.
Ba-doom.
Matthew, what's
Sweet
on your
can.
palate? Sweet can.
Well, first,
Cheetos. I see Cheetos back there.
Oh yeah, I found it. Everybody goes on about the fucking flaming hot. They're not that fucking.
They're not that hot.
No. Okay, but I was at the pharmacy and they had some chips and candy. I don't normally buy that kind of shit at all, but I did buy this.
What the hell is this? Whoa!
Katjesdrup. It is from
Is it black licorice?
black licorice.
Oh God!
But strangely, look,
What? You get a present in it?
it's
Your
kitties.
Cats. You kitty cats.
Hey!
It's little licorice kitties
Licorice kitties.
from the Netherlands.
What?
On these bluesies.
Wow.
Well, they do licorice right. And drinking. I was out walking around and I walked by the Ukrainian bakery, and they make their own kvass there, which is kind of a lightly fermented thing made from rye bread. It's kind of like beer-ish, malty, but they used to sell it in little bottles. I think they brew it themselves, but they said, "Oh no, we only have it on tap now."
Oh darn!
But what I did find was Obolon. Which
Obolon.
is the number 1 Ukrainian beer. And
Nice.
this one is, it says right here, bezalkoholny or something. Yeah. No, it's a non-alcoholic version.
Nice.
Oh!
Yeah, I got Ukrainian beer.
Wow.
International and non-alcoholic, all of a piece.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, grab your drinks, lift them high, whether you're in the lawn, don't be in the
Oh
lawn,
my God!
on your lawn, whether you're walking Teddy in
Yes,
the
Teddy's going for a walk.
mountains, whether you are in the car as a passenger, whether you're sitting on the toilet. Raise them high, take a big, steep drink for us, and get ready to nerd out with us for a while and perhaps yell at us. Although, really, just all the songs are fucking Class A bangers this time. So
Yeah.
votes are going to be hard, and this was a hell of a lot of fun to listen to all these songs over and over and over again. So no losers or controversy in this one, probably. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start with round 1.
It's pretty good, this beer.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What family is it in? It's like a real light beer kind of?
Yeah, it's light. It's lager.
Can it hold it up? I want to see that's color.
It's yeller.
Ooh, pretty.
Looks like pee.
Yeah.
Yeller.
And we'll turn into pee.
We'll turn into pee. Pee both ways. So this week we are in round 1, pitting Junk off of Small Parts Isolated and Destroyed 1988, which won out against Red on Red in episode 30. Now, Matthew was the dissenting vote in that one.
Oh, that's hard.
Matthew, would you still stand behind that vote? You still feel the same?
I'd have to think about that one again. Might be close.
Yeah. I don't think it was easy from what I remember, but yeah. And so Junk is going up against Humans off of Worldhood of the World as Such, 1995. Now, Humans won out against Forget Your Life, episode 13.
Wow.
Strangely, I was the dissenting vote.
Wow.
What the fuck? I don't remember that. I don't know that I would vote the same. But I look back at my notes and I had like half a paragraph of notes for Humans and like a page and a half for Forget Your Life. So it must have really hit me. And by the way, I was completely wrong about Forget Me Life. Forget Me Life? Forget Me Life.
Forget Me Life. I'm going in the ground.
Forget Your Life. And I think in our talk with Rob, I've now completely rethought about that song. But tough shit, it's out of the loop, so who cares? So Junk versus Humans. I'm going to go first this round. But before I start laying out my babble, I'm going to stick my junk in this human and let you hear a little bit of what's going on.
Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. And each day, each hour, each minute, each second. Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. And each day, each hour, each minute, each second, we're crawling, crawling, clawing, falling. More, 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 more. And jump, 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 jump.
You won't believe your eyes. A dream of a parallel size, immaculate infusion. A sight not to be believed.
Little monkeys making money, naked monkeys looking funny.
Mighty monkeys strong and free, female monkeys not so lucky.
Rockin' monkeys, funky monkeys, monkeys taking other monkeys.
Monkeys wrong or monkeys right, mostly flexing monkey right.
All right. So that was a little mashup of Junk and Humans. All right. So these two songs, two very different eras, right? We've got, I think in both these matchups, we've got
Naked monkey looking funny.
Yeah, that's right. We've got Andy era versus post Andy era songs up against each other, which is always rough because there's for a lot of us, some of you out there, there's already predispositions about that stuff, right? But these are very, very different songs, but both real fucking bangers. So when it comes to Junk, I mean, this song's just fucking great. It has very few lyrics but strangely, when I listen to the song or think about it, I don't think about it that way. But when I look at the lyric sheet, I'm like, there's only 2 stanzas. There's not a lot said, but it packs a real punch. Like this song, really like when I listen to it, both in the way that Andy delivers it and the lyrics themselves,
14 lines.
right? They're so it's such a great encapsulation of this reflexive need we have to categorize everything, to label everything, to name everything, and how that makes us completely blind to the world around us. So that like all I see, all I'm in is this mass of categories of labeled things. Everything's got a name, everything's got a place until I can't see it anymore. I don't see anything. All I am surrounded by is the shit I've named and created. No, I have no contact with anything real anymore. And one of the things I love in these lyrics, especially something No Means No does a lot, and they have a great example of it here, where they take a saying that you might normally say one way, and they make a small substitution or switching of words that makes the meaning far more depthful. And they do it so subtly, and it's so brilliant. So Andy says everything had a name and everyone had a place.
Oh,
And then in the lyrics thing, it says everything.
I know,
and everything.
I know, but
I just was getting, I was
right,
getting the CD
right.
out just to look on the lyric sheet.
In a more typical lyricist might say everyone had a name and everything had a place, but by switching those around, it makes the people the things and the things that need a name, right? It flattens it out so that everything is just one big pile of junk. But I love it. It's very subtle, but very intense. Andy's performance in this is of course, like everything else, incredible and not sneery in the normal way. Like it has that sort of edge that he always has, but I feel like it's I don't know. It's certainly not straightforward, but it doesn't feel ironic as much as it just feels urgent in a way.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's just fucking incredible. Musically, the trick of this song where it just always feels like it's climbing the ladder. It's always going up. Like when you look at a spiral and it always seems like it's moving and going in, but it's really just going round and round. The riff in this is just a loop, but it still always feels like it's going up. Partly that's because the bass plays that one riff, the arpeggio going up, and then the guitar really is jumping octaves as it's going up, right? And those two things playing off each other, the illusion that it gives me of someone climbing a ladder, which there's so much talk in the song of looking up, climbing, stretching your neck, craning your neck. Again, that holographic thing of the lyrics matching the tone and the way the instrumentation is played. I feel like I'm craning my neck and stretching up and being pulled up in this entire fucking song.
Good.
It's so good. And fuck me, that last verse, the above us is the garbage, below us is the earth, above us is the garbage, and just that whole last through the end is so good. Classic fucking No Means No. This song is just absolutely bang on classic, and the performance absolutely fits the lyrics. This is definitely one of those examples where everything is of a piece. It all fucking fits together. I think I said before last time too, and I'll stand by it now. Andy is absolutely my favorite guitarist of all time. Part of that is because he is not afraid to not be fucking tight. There are some riffs in here that like shit that could be super tight that he probably could play tight, but he doesn't. He plays them loose and sloppy in just the right way that gives so much more texture to what he's doing than if he were making it tight. If this were tight, it would lose something. It needs that just fucking slop that's so gorgeous. It's just fucking love it. Yeah, man, okay, so let me turn to Humans a little bit. So Humans, also a banger fucking song. What a fucking, the 1-2 punch of joy and this, I remember first putting this album on, I was like, oh fuck, this album is gonna kick
I gotta
ass.
call in sick to work.
No shit. I mean, I remember actually when I first listened to it, I had just gotten together with Lisa, actually. It was a little while after I got together with her, and I just moved in with her, and I was listening to this really loud, and I was high as fuck, and I just remember just losing my fucking mind sitting by myself in that room. Sometimes you listen to songs and you have really visceral memories of times you've heard it either first or some other times. This one I definitely have. So this one, I also think the lyrics and the way it's sung and everything matches the tone of what is being said and the way it's played musically, but of course in a completely different way. This is a absolute circus carnival barker, fucking joyous. I just imagine, and Rob very much so standing on his giant soapbox out front of the tent, a cranium of unusual size. Like he is he is the circus master, right?
Yeah.
And I love how this song is not only making us into monkeys, it's making us into children. The first line is phone your mom. The start of the next fucking verse is clean your mess, right? It's like, you bunch of fucking little kids, you bunch of stupid little monkeys. It's really just poking its finger in our eyes and making us like into the stupidest little pieces of hairless shit in the world. And yet it's joyous. I still feel that there's this deep affection and joyousness for these little monkeys. While at one hand, it's cradling us and stroking our hair, it's also slowly dropping a big loogie on the top of our head at the same time. Like it does both. Right. It does both. It just wants to fuck with us, but also go like, but don't worry, we're all monkeys. It's all right. We can still have fun. This song is just fun in a way that a handful of No Means No songs are, right? Like it just in the sense of and it coming right after Joy, it pulls on the feeling of that song, right? Like I'm already sort of bouncing in my seat, and then they give me this shit. Yep. It's definitely the most upbeat 1-2 punch that No Means No has ever given. And I just think the lyrics are fucking great. And female monkeys not so lucky. Just little things like that are fucking great. And I think this, of course, this is the first time we really get to hear Tom in vocal performance. He doesn't give a lot of vocals anywhere, but he definitely does in here.
His voice is probably on Joy, but first specifically.
That's right.
That is Tom, first identifiable Tom.
And so we get all three of them very identifiably in this. And I think musically we get them all very identifiably. This is really this is such a great distillation of, this is what No Means No is now. I feel like they all got to put their mark. They really got to put themselves forward. I think Tom's guitar work in this is really fun. It's really great. I love how staccato this whole song is, and just how just barreling, but everything's just short and just always makes me want to bounce up and down on my seat, like a little fucking little organ grinder monkey. Exactly. Yeah. This song turns me into the organ grinder monkey for sure. And it's just sweet. I don't know. That's a weird word to put on it, but it just strikes me as sweet.
You're totally right.
It's like, we're all just fucking humans. I don't know if either of you, probably not. I know, Matthew, you're not watching much TV these days, but Michelle, you might actually really like this. It's a documentary called Chimp Crazy. It's called Chimp Crazy on Netflix, about this wacko fucking woman who adopted a bunch of chimpanzees and was just it's not. It is same director as Tiger King, really? But it's fucking great. And anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is this song should absolutely be the theme song to that fucking show, because it's about the ridiculousness of the human condition and how broken people are, as showing it through the lens of someone who prefers chimpanzee company and doesn't, tries to overly humanize them in a way. Anyway,
they're very, very dangerous animals. Jesus.
And there's plenty of they definitely talk about the face eating in this documentary. So you get it. It's all in there. While at the same time showing how magnificent. Anyway, we don't need to talk about this. That's a separate conversation. But I just feel like this is a perfect song for that. So in many ways, these two songs are such great distillations of everything I love about the band. Everything feels so tightly bound together. Nothing really feels out of place. All the lyrics, the delivery of the lyrics, the tone of it, the pacing of both of these songs is so in the pocket, yet they're so fucking different. They're so different. And of course from different eras, and they really do show their different eras too. I think one is very much, I don't know if a pinnacle, but a great example of the post Andy era, and Junk is a great example of the Andy era. It's really, it's incredible. So highlights for me, my favorite part of Junk is that last verse. It's the last verse. All of that is just the way it starts with the slow doom, 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 and it just keeps crawling, clawing. It's fucking brilliant. And yet it leads into my least favorite part of that song, which is the fact that in the engineering or the mixing, they cut the toy noises and put them at the beginning of That Sad. They really belong when you're listening to the album at the end of this song, and they shouldn't have been put so that it cuts when I'm listening to it at the beginning of That Sad. I really need the bookend of the toys. I really need the bookend, and I think it's bullshit that they decided to throw it into the other one, which is bullshit. That's a very small minor quibble, but it's always bothered me when I just listen to the song. It's like, fuck, I want the ending to be that, and I don't get it. I have to listen to the whole album if I'm going to get it.
This is bullshit,
But I do love the toys, all the speak and spell bullshit and squeaks. That's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant. Speaks in a way to the the puerile aspect in humans, and our just childish base nature. Anyway, these songs fucking rule. I'll save whatever else I have to say for round 2. Michelle, how about you?
I hate going after you guys.
You're the meat. We're the bread.
Okay. All right, here's your meat. Go up to a piano and put your finger on the lowest E and play all the white notes up to the next E. I probably said this the first time we did this, but it needs to be done. That's a Phrygian mode scale, and also the bass and guitar lines Rob and Andy are playing. Yeah,
nice.
One of the modes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Phrygian. And I doubt, well, no, I shouldn't doubt, but maybe John didn't know that he was playing a Phrygian scale.
Oh, I bet he did.
Of course he did. He's a genius.
The Phrygian cap is the symbol of revolution in Central America.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh.
Fucking the shit you bust out with is just wild.
I know.
I love it.
Look in the Guatemalan coat of arms.
Thesaurus.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now that you know that you can play this along with a band, just play along with that spiffy riff. Yeah. Just go do it. You're going to feel awesome. When you think you're the coolest ever, your ear goes to the complete mastery of just what the fuck is John is doing on the drums. The man is playing in 5.
Yep.
And the controlled chaos he's laying down is a force to be reckoned with. In my humble opinion, this is the most musically complex piece they ever wrote, and truly a masterpiece in the punk jazz genre.
Yes.
This song flips through 2, maybe 3 time signatures, and it's a wonder to listen to. Once again, Andy's delivery is fucking top shelf. And I top shelf is all caps and underline. But the star in this, is John. What he's doing is insane in the membrane. Special highlights are the bow in the wait a minute break. That wait a minute time.
Yes.
The bow.
The bass slide.
Please. And the echoey stuff. I love it when John has a little echo on the drums. It gives me the creeps.
There's a lot of that on this album. They really went crazy with it.
And the sick riff that I never get tired of, and what Andy adds to this with the guitar, this song does not suck. This song is a total shit, and you all know it. All right, humans, in the words of Jordan, this song is a complete banger, I think. While it's a straightforward type piece, it actually kicks ass and slowly builds with plenty of force, and it breaks in that totally perfect way that they can take a song like that and just do it. I think we can all be in agreement that this is 1,000% a John song. Yes. And I love how prominent he is in the singing of it. You can actually hear a fair amount of each singer in this one, and they all sound fantastic. Highlights are John singing and the use of Rob as a psycho ringmaster during the great chug fest of the guitar and the bass riff, and the perfection at just how the song is written. Just like Junk, it's a great foot stomper, and there's no excess crap in it.
Yeah.
Both songs are on the aggressive in-your-face side, and you can't help but get roped in.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, Matthew.
Junk, in some ways, I think it's musically one of the most complex songs. In terms of time signatures and how everything's woven together. It doesn't seem that way, but when you listen to it, it's like, wow, there's a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Whereas Humans is quite simple, and it's good that way.
Yeah.
In Humans, I really like the music. Really gives the lyrics a lot of space as well. He kind of like steps back and just plays, and the lyrics are super important. Whereas in Junk, it's more like the lyrics are another instrument more so.
Yep.
If that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Always.
But not always. Like I'd say that it's more separate in Humans. They're telling a little bit of a story, like really the rhyming couplets and everything like that.
Right.
It's kind of alongside each other rather than kind of integrated. Anyway, I really like the lyrics in both of them. I guess Junk is maybe a little more ambiguous. It is, labeling things, but also, on one level, the criticism of consumption, overconsumption is kind of an obvious one.
Sure. Of course.
The accumulation of stuff. I have dealt with a lot of hoarding in my life, maybe more than you should. Dealing with other people's problems and cleaning them up. And it is, more is better is a very, very bad,
Yeah.
very, very bad thing, especially
Mhm.
because I've seen, you just accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And you stop being able to
Yes.
distinguish between what's good and what's bad. It all gets mixed together. And that is sad and wasteful and stressful and harmful.
Yeah.
And I think on another level, and I don't remember whether I kind of came up with this interpretation in when we first talked about this song, but I think it's also about ambition. When you're sort of piling on accomplishments and achievements and that sort of stuff. I mean, maybe it gets you somewhere, but if you spend all your time climbing that ladder, then you're not really going to be able to appreciate what you're climbing it for. Maybe you kind of forget. And I think that's a big part of the structure
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
of the
because
song,
above you
which
is
I
the garbage.
absolutely love. Above us is the garbage, below us is dirt. You stand on the solid earth and you're just like constantly climbing, crawling, clawing, falling. And the relentless going up, like the music, like the notes go up. I guess it is an arpeggio, just constantly going up, but then it drops and you're going back the same fucking
That's right.
escalator. Like every
Chutes and ladders.
yeah. I look above you, and then the main riff just goes relentlessly up, but you never really get any resolution. It's just sort of a loop, Sisyphean kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Um,
That's a great pull. This is a very Sisyphean song.
yeah. Humans, both songs have an incredible performance, but Humans is much more straight ahead, and I think it isn't, as I said, sort of as blended. I really like how everything's a little bit different, although I really like, there's a part where Rob and John are doing a chorus together, and then John busts out with just the solo voice, and I like that. I like how you can hear all the individual
Yep.
bits and pieces, whereas John is much more braided together, I guess. Although different quiet loud parts in Junk, I mean, as is typical of so many No Means No songs, there's a interesting aspect of this, and I can't think of many other songs where I think this is a production choice and I don't really have the vocabulary for it, but there's very noisy, distorted parts, and then there's really clean, like almost overproduced and overly smooth parts in Junk, and I like that, the contrast. Like the bass just sounds a little bit too, there's no distortion on it, it's just too sort of ringy and round, and then the guitar is really, really distorted. And then in Humans, I really like how the guitar and bass are really distinctive. It's one of my favorite things is actually how there are distinct, it's a distinct guitar solo followed by a distinct bass solo. And
right, which is so rare.
Simple. Simple but awesome. And when I think of, I do have a bass back there next to my drum kit. It is Lisa's, but neither of us ever really play it. But the one thing I ever tried to learn to play on it was like that, ding 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 ding. And it almost sounds like a Christmas carol or something, or some sort of classical sound.
Right. Yeah.
That little thing, maybe it sounds like a advertising jingle or something like that. It is interesting that everything had a name and everything had a place, is what it says in the internet lyrics, but everything had a name and everyone had a place. The transposition, I won't get into the too personal aspects of like the hoarding that I dealt with, but one of the tragedies I think of hoarding is when one of the distinctions that gets lost is like value.
Right.
And I think when people have a hoard, they are valuing their hoard more than the people around them. A lot of the time, and that is like to start to see them as an object, and categorize and value things incorrectly is one of the perversities of that sort of acquisitive urge. It's scary to me, having seen it right in the face quite a bit.
Wow.
And overconsumption. That song came out in 1988, and it really is no different today.
No, well, yeah, it's even more salient than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the less crap I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
No joke.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the tone of the music and lyrics match up in both really well. But Humans, it's simple and silly and funny in tone, but then there's still a tragic aspect, or at least
Right. Absolutely.
like a sympathetic or empathetic aspect.
Mhm.
Or yeah, I really like one of my favorites is right at the end. I lack the vocabulary and the ear for it, but I think that it changes to a bit of a minor chord at the end. We're all just
Oh yeah, that's
like
that's a good
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
it's it sounds a little bit melancholy,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
also there's a lot of sympathy and acceptance in it. Just like this is how we are. And,
Yeah.
yeah. A real highlight. Obviously, the carnival bark of Rob is amazing.
Yeah.
But John's really amazing singing in this, and
Yeah.
just like when he really sings, he may be the best singer overall.
especially from a technical
from a
perspective.
technical,
Yeah.
like if you took
Wow.
Rob or John or Andy and had them sing something else, like a jazz standard or something like that, I
That's
think
right.
John would
That's
probably
right.
do the best job. Of
That's
the three
right.
of them. I think he has.
That's a good way to put it. Like if they were
agree with that,
if
but-
they were singing someone else's song and not singing something that they were trying to connect with inside, right?
Yeah.
Which is where John and Andy especially really shine, is connecting their vocals with something else, right? John is an incredibly technically good singer, and together, and that's one of the things I love about Humans is hearing the three. I mean, Tom too, really giving their A games in terms of those. Anyway, this is your segment.
Yeah. I guess the low of anything, maybe the ending in Humans, like it's just like, but then it's just the same note. Maybe that's supposed to be that way. It's just like a monkey bashing on a.
That's what I've always thought. It feels like a monkey just being like fuck it, like banging on their drum.
And then Junk, the perennial complaint I have is just that yes, that album sounds a certain way, but I wish
it weren't. I wish that we just could be in that alternate
guys are
universe.
crazy.
just
where-
a different
Hey,
sort of
even Andy
production,
agrees.
different prioritization, different
Wow,
mastering,
Andy.
something like
Yeah.
that might be.
It's one of those things that I
awful.
definitely feel like be careful what you wish for. If I asked for a genie for that
Yeah.
and they gave it to me, I'd probably go like, "Oh, that was a bad choice." I think I want it, but I bet you I wouldn't if I actually got it somehow.
Right.
And a lyric that I never really noticed in, I think it's quite a tragic one. I know you want peace of mind to be with your kind.
Right. Which is so bittersweet.
And it is like, it's impossible to rise above. We're all just monkeys and we're all just going to roll around in the poop together.
Yep.
Oh,
It's-
that's nice.
For an album or for a song that's so light in a sense, and I say that meaning like so funny, those last couple of verses, like, now you've lost your Eden, there is no returning, it stares up and out at you, it's not for you. Is like, oh fuck,
You can't-
okay, so when
There
the
is no idealization for you.
yeah, and
There's
when
no
and when
perfect
you
state.
when you stare into the abyss stares back, right? Like, oh shit, at the curse of consciousness, like, right? Which, if you're talking about humans and monkeys, you've got to contend with the fact that that consciousness is like our curse, our blessing and our curse. And the way they start from something so childish and go deep into that, like, yeah, and guess what? You're fucked because you can think and you're self-aware. Sorry. It's just the fact. And that the line you point out is the perfect capstone on that, right? Like that need to connect and our complete inability to do so. Usually. It's gorgeous.
I know that you're anxious. You want more than this.
More than this. Yep.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Round 2. So a couple of things, because it's always think of things that you guys talk about because you both had such fucking great things to say about it.
Oh.
Yes. Junk is absolutely one of their most musically complex things. And,
Yep.
and you were saying, Matthew, excuse me, about how the lyrics, not the lyrics, the vocal performance is almost another instrument. I really agree on this because there's the way that some of these, like, and he's promising himself they must have buried it somewhere else. Like the way that the lyrics are sort of they fall on each other, and the syncopation in the time signatures. It's really an instrument. It's really as complicated as everything else. Whereas humans is very much just like bum 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 bum, right? And so it really is like it's so of the piece, and has a lot to say. But it's the way the delivery itself is as complicated instrumentally as all the other instruments. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yes,
it's
it
gorgeous.
is.
Yeah, humans is it's really Hansy.
It is. Although I think it's
Not
it's
thematically.
on mathematically. It's on the no means no side of the Hansons for me,
not
right?
Thematically.
Not thematically, right? Yeah, no, it's fucking yeah. I mean, Junk is it is a prog jazz punk masterpiece in that sense for sure. And yeah, I mean, the thing about hoarding is right on. And for me, it's that idea that the hoarding is inside and outside. It's the exterior hoarding that we all do, the overconsumption, and the fact that inside we're obsessed with labeling, organizing, categorizing. Like that
Looking at
impulse
shit on the internet.
that impulse, well, and just for ourselves, like I am this, you are that, this is this
I
is
got a
that.
label
Like
maker.
everything has to have that inside
I got
and
two of 'em.
outside, and we can't separate the two, and so everything's filled with junk. And I think that, like above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. That's saying below us is the earth. That's like that real way of saying like that's what's fucking real. That
right.
the trite way of the people say now, like go out and touch grass, but it's that sort of thing of like, no, ground yourself. Like,
But also,
that you were talking about ambition. That's
by
totally
all this
right.
equation, it's below us, right? It's
yes,
we're trying to
exactly.
rise above it.
We're always trying to rise above it. We're trying to move up. We're trying to grasp and yeah. So I think you're spot on. This is what I love about this fucking band. It's all of those things, right?
Yep,
It's all of them. And I don't even care if they didn't mean them all. That doesn't fucking matter. The fact is they're tapping into something really. It's what's beautiful about it is they don't have to intend it. What they're tapping into is so universal that it does mean all of those things at once, because at its root, symbols represent many things, and they touch things that are so deeply iconic that they authentically touch many things. And it's not just subjective mirroring to say it reminds me of this or it touches on that. No, I think it actually does, because even if they didn't intend it, it's touching something very universal that already touches all those things, because it's deeper than the surface level shit most people will talk about. So anyway, are these songs representative of No Means No as a whole? Fuck yeah, they are in different ways, but both of these songs are entirely representative of this band. Junk is an absolute pinnacle of their complicated math rock, gorgeous holographic ability to deliver everything completely on point and yet be so fucking tight and so loose at the same time in a way that I just have never fucking heard. And having the tightness of John's drums, having Rob as the Hermes in between, and having fucking Andy just loose and messy and gorgeous on the outside. It's like it's this ladder of perfection that's just fucking incredible. It's incredible, and this song absolutely represents that. And this album, I think, in a certain way, represents the peak of that for them in many ways. I'm coming to feel. And yet humans also, I think, especially if we're splitting, have this demarcation of post-Andy era, this is absolutely representative of the post-Andy era. It's something that's more, or of a certain type of the post-Andy era. We have another song later that I think that would put the lie to this a bit, but it's very straightforward. It has a little bit more Hanson-y. It's got that John influence, but it's still so deeply No Means No. It's so deeply affecting. Rob's performance and all the performances are very connected. That's one of the things I'll always take to the grave about loving this band is when they're singing, when they're performing, they're deeply connected to what they're fucking doing, and nothing just feels like a cut off performance. They're attached in some way to something inside that they're trying to say, and I think it's really in there with this song. And in this instance, it's the ironic detachment of the carnival barker. It's the joy of we're all just, or not joy, but like sad empathy of we're all just like this. Like I really feel them saying that, right? They're not just, And so in that way, I think it also deeply connects to their power as artists, even though it's a more straightforward song. So I think it also is very emblematic of another side of them, because they're a dodecahedron of fucking sides, this band.
What?
And so in that sense, they're both very representative. In terms of where they are in the oeuvre, I actually think both these songs are pretty important. I don't think people give as much love to Junk as they should. I think it should be a more important song. And I just say that like, what the fuck do I know? Maybe people do, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. I think they should. Humans, I think, gets a lot of love from the later era because it's one of the more relatable songs and the songs that's sort of like immediately catchy and gets you. And it's easy to relate to in a way, and you don't have to think really hard about it either. It's kind of right up front. It's not complicated what it's saying. I mean, there's depth to it, but you don't have to dig very deep to get it, right? Like it says a lot, but it says it in your face pretty loud with drool spitting out. But that's also very No Means No, right? So I think they're both important in that sense. And I wouldn't put either of these as songs that I'm like, well, that's kind of a song you can come to later. No, I think these are both really representative songs of aspects of the band. In terms of newbies, I think both of these are good newbie songs. I think Junk is a good song to play to someone that as you feel like might be a little more adventurous, because I don't think it's hard to get into. I think it's very fucking intriguing. I think the music is incredibly intriguing. The performance is intriguing. You don't have to understand it to be blown away by the syncopation of the lyrics. The vocal performance can give you so much without you understanding a fucking word.
Yeah.
And it's still just great. So I think it's a great song. And Humans also is a great one to introduce people to because it's really fucking fun. It really sounds fun. It's a booty shaker. No one has to listen hard. You hear Rob be the carnival barker. You're like, this is fucking a circus song. This is awesome. What am I listening to? I think they're both really good newbie songs. Would they be my first choice for newbie songs? Probably not. But I think I would, if I saw this come on, right, I wouldn't press skip to go to something else for somebody. I'd be like, oh, no, let's listen to this one. This is great. Like it was on a mixtape or something like that. So I think they're potentially good newbie songs. I don't think you'd turn anybody off from either of these. Nope. And they both might play to different people, right? Like there would be different people I'd play both of these for, but for those type of people, these would be good. They could be good introductory songs for sure, especially on an initial mixtape. All right. I'll shut up. Michelle.
Is Junk representative? Oh, hell yes. Complex time signatures mixed with phenomenal drumming that cannot be ignored. Repeating bass lines that enforce the anxiety, and then our favorite Skeeter buzzing about and adding snare. Please, this is remarkable music. Humans representative, yes, absolutely. While the gymnastics aren't as emphatic, the message in this is one that they shine on. The good, the bad, and the ugly with being human. In that it has similarities to the subject of Junk too. Would I play these for people? Hell yes. I would, just like you, Jordan, I would play both. I wouldn't even tell someone to sit down and listen to Junk. I'd just put it on and wait for the googly eyes to pop out. Humans might be more of a straightforward listen to, but it's good enough to share with any serious music fan who knows something good when they hear it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew, round 2.
Yeah, Real Love was my favorite song for a really long time, and Victory and Dark Ages are generally the standouts that people mention, and Slade, of course. But I think, Brother Rat, Slade stands out just because they're so different.
Yes.
Accessible, but different. Victory and Real Love and Dark Ages might actually be a little bit more musically accessible or a little bit more potentially even radio friendly.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
So yeah, I've spent maybe more time with those songs initially because maybe they were simpler, maybe they were a little easier to digest or anything like that. But later in my life and after doing this podcast, I would say, and That's Sad and Junk.
I was just gonna say, are those the two best songs? Are those actually the two best songs?
Maybe my favorite songs on that album instead, right?
Fuck yeah. It's exactly what I was thinking. Shit.
And Small Parts is an amazing song, but it's.
I'm still thinking like, I'm sorry, Slade still rules for me. But of course,
yes, I'm not saying I don't
but
like
I'm
those songs.
the same way. Those Junk and That Sad have both been like, where the fuck have you been all my life? Like, what was I smoking or not smoking tonight?
I just don't think I valued them correctly or accurately earlier in my No Means No fandom. So yes, representative. I would say Junk is very representative in terms of complexity. It's a very quintessential. A lot of the things that I value about No Means No are very, very evident.
Yeah,
we kind of bound up in this song. Humans also representative, but maybe more of a certain type, and maybe a little less quintessential. I think it's more representative of the Hansons than what the Hansons do than what No Means No do as a whole.
I think it may be my favorite bridge of those two worlds.
Yeah,
of
sure.
all of those bridge, this is the one for me that's the closest. Like, okay, I can live with this fully, and I don't have any sense of like a little too Hansonsy. But I agree
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And where they stand in the body of work, I would say again, yeah, junk. Maybe I never hear people talk about it.
Right.
Same with "And
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
Sad." So I think they should be more important.
You hear that, everybody?
Yeah, humans. Yeah, because especially because it's the first song with Tom singing on it. I think it's just super great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super,
It's historic in that way, right? Like it's
super
an
fun.
artifact.
Okay, this is what they're gonna
Yeah.
what they're doing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super fun. Would I introduce a newbie? I would say maybe more newbies, depending on musical taste of the person that I. Maybe a wider variety of newbies I might introduce with humans, because I think there's a lot to recommend people who are into pop punk for something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Or more garage stuff. It's maybe a little more. There's a lot of meat to it. If you listen to the lyrics, it's clever. It
Hidden
is
depth.
deep in its way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, musically maybe a little bit more accessible, but still amazingly played and flawless in terms of the execution. Junk is it maybe too complex for some people. It may not be the first one even on that album. It might not just grab people as quickly.
Well, listen to you and I both talk about how it didn't grab us in the same way, right?
Exactly
like
that.
us super fans, it took us a long time to finally go like, oh fuck! So you're kind of
No,
right on that front.
Not
Yeah.
me, baby.
Not you.
me.
Michelle
Nope.
knew from the
That's
get-go.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I win.
Anyway,
Always.
that's what I got to say.
All right, third round voting. All right, so I mean, this is not necessarily hard for me, but I would say that I do love both these songs. I think they're both fucking great. I have zero problems with either of them. I enjoy both of these songs very, very, very much. But Junk by a league is the winner for me. Junk is like, it's just such
oh
a
my
fucking
God,
song.
I did not think you were going to vote for that.
Really, you don't think so? No, Junk is
No.
Junk's my shit, man. I love this.
All
I
right,
love this.
Junk's your shit.
I love this type of song from No Means No, and I think this song is absolutely fucking brilliant. That said, Humans is amazing. I love it.
Yep.
It's also what I didn't talk about too much. I think it's perfectly placed on that album in terms of sequencing. Joy into that is a fucking genius bit of album sequencing, and also into Angel and the Devil, which is not my favorite song, but it's well
Yeah, that's a good
placed
song,
off
too.
of Humans. Like it's such a great transition. So again, just genius sequencing on their albums.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to take a second to say this is not something I've said before. In a weird way, and I'll probably regret these words and go back to disabuse them later. I'm not as pulled in by the sequencing of Small Parts and Day Everything as I am by others. All those songs are brilliant, but the way they're sequenced isn't as meaningful to me as other albums. I can listen to that one and bounce around a little bit, and I don't feel as like, oh, why is that one not coming next? It's kind of like, I can kind of play them in any order. It's okay. I don't feel as clinchy about the order of those songs as I do other albums, which may just speak to the individual strength of the songs rather than any problem with sequencing. It's more like they can kind of stand on their own more than other albums, but yeah, I don't know.
I do feel, we've discussed this a little bit, I just like a little bit of loss, a little bit of FOMO or grief because I never experienced any of these albums except, I did have access to vinyl at the radio station. So but only we wouldn't play a whole album, right?
Right,
We play an individual song. But I got to know these albums as tapes and as CDs, and so I didn't really get to understand the choice of the sides or the fact that Small Parts only had 8 songs on it originally.
Yeah,
there's a lot more on. It's 13 or
That's
something.
very true. That's very true. Yeah. We only have the compilations, right? So that's another thing that I should say about that. I'm not approaching these as the day everything became nothing and Small Parts isolated and destroyed. I'm approaching it as the day everything became isolated and destroyed, right? Like I'm only approaching it from that. So that's a very good point.
You kill me, and
that's right. My idea of sequencing is totally false in that sense. It's based on something on the illusion that came from the CD, not from the vinyl.
Right.
I'm getting a record player this Christmas. We're getting it. Parker already has one, but I never get to listen to his shit. So downstairs we're getting one, and I've got now more of these on vinyl, and that's going to be one of my big things: is having whiskey, sitting downstairs, put on the headphones, and fucking listen to these things on vinyl. I cannot wait to treat myself to that shit.
To your house.
Nice. Sorry, Matthew. So
no, we're just saying 0 + 2 was one that they didn't is the only one they didn't shoehorn of those like early albums.
Right.
Where
You're right.
And I appreciate that one so much in the structure, even though Andy doesn't like it. In the song,
It's so good.
The order choices and the sides, because it was probably the last tape that I bought of theirs that was new. That was my format of choice because I didn't have a CD player in 1991. But it was I never got to know those.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
Oh, no worries. You froze a little for us, but your recording will be fine on your side. So,
okay.
Yeah, your recording is local,
okay.
so don't worry about it. Keep going.
All
Alrighty.
Yep.
Sweet. Anyway,
sorry, I just didn't get.
Just
to
that I
hear
didn't get to know those albums as vinyl.
But
and maybe quite
your
as
vote,
independent,
sir.
so- Yeah. Oh yes. It's got to be Junk.
You Junk.
Wow.
Wait, did we ask you, Michelle, or did
No,
we
I don't
skip
think
I
over
haven't
you?
gone yet.
Because you should have been middle. We just skipped
Well,
right over
that's
you.
all
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's all right. I don't care. I'd rather
We know.
listen
We
to
know.
you two anyways.
We know who you're going to vote for.
Yeah,
I'd
you
rather
do,
listen to
don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. I feel unanimity coming along. All right, let me hit it. Hit me.
Me?
Yeah.
Junk.
Yes.
Is my vote. I'm junking it.
This song really
Stick
deserves
my
to be
junk in
in
a
our.
human.
Yeah. This song really deserves to be in the last round. I'm incredibly happy.
Oh, totally.
And I'm actually glad that it went against a song that we all really like as well, because to
Yep.
me, that elevates it even more, right? There's some of these songs that go up against one that's like, well, it's a really good song, but it also had an easy pull. This didn't have a super easy pull.
Right.
And yet it's just so fucking good.
Yep.
And I dread what it's going to come up against when we're in our final round.
Yeah.
Or what should be our final round. All right.
I don't really know how it's even going to work yet.
We don't even know how it's going to work yet, or if there will be. We'll have to see.
We're going to spin a wheel. That's what
All
I'm
right,
saying.
folks.
I want a wheel spun.
So Junk has won. Beep, 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 beep.
I like kind of prices
Right in the butt. Sorry, that's a joke
In the
for
butt, Bob.
those of you who know the
in the butt.
best Wheel of Fortune meme to ever come
No,
out.
that
in
wasn't Wheel of
existence.
Fortune. That was the
Wheel of
Newlywed
Fortune.
Game.
Nope. Right. There was a new
Oh,
Wheel of Fortune where some
That's
guy
right.
thought it was
The
right
guy
in the
knows-
butt.
Right in the
Best
butt.
thing I've ever
Okay.
seen. I literally
All
almost
right.
pissed
No,
my pants.
you're
But in
right.
any event, we're going to move on to our middle listener submission. Listen, guys, we're not going to bore you like we normally do. You hear it every fucking time.
Yeah.
Send shit in.
Send
But
shit
send it in.
period.
Like we're coming up dry. We want to hear from you. It's a couple more episodes. We might not have anything to read, so you're not going to get this shit. So I don't know if that's what you want.
And it's been a bit of a rough year, also complicated.
Yes, for many ways.
We
for all of
apologize
us.
for the, a little bit patchy release schedule. I'm hoping that we can get back to a little bit more regular,
want
at
to.
least through the rest of this. Yeah, we do want to. And as the weather gets shittier and it gets darker outside, and I have fewer catios to build, then it might be a little bit easier to.
Right.
I-
Fireside chat.
I do want to acknowledge for everyone that as an avid podcast listener, and I mean that, like I have a set of probably 20 podcasts I listen to all the time.
Jeez.
I do get pissed when one doesn't show up when I expect it. So I want you to know that it's quite all right if you've gotten frustrated at us that we've fallen off. Like most of you, I know you're super cool about it and you'd be cool to our face, but it's also okay for you privately to feel frustrated that this doesn't come out regularly, because a lot of my life, it doesn't revolve around it, but I really like Thursday hits and, there's my Ezra Klein. There's my this, there's my that. I know it's going to be there. And for you guys not to get that when you
Jon
expect
Stewart.
it, I want to say, I know it fucking sucks and we don't like it
frustrates us
either.
too.
It frustrates us too. So anyway, we're doing our best. We're going to try to get better. We may or may not. The other thing I wanted to say, I meant to say this at the top of the podcast. We had sort of threatened / promised to have a lot of episodes this year where we were going, not this year, this round, where we were going to have guest hosts, and we've done
It's
quite
hard.
a few, but I got to say it's so fucking hard. So there are some of you out there who
Time
said
zones.
we said some of you out there that we were going to do this with, and we haven't even reached out to you, and I really apologize to you. We have every intention of doing that, and I still intend to do that. It's just fucking hard. It's hard to get the three of us together, let
Yep.
alone get somebody else. So that's the only
And
reason.
we're in the same time zone.
And we're in the same time zone. So it's
That's
not that we
right,
don't want
right.
to do that. It's just fucking really hard. So anyway, that's it. You know the rest. So Matthew, why don't you read our listener submission from Jason Crua?
Yeah, thank you, Jason.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Let me just... sorry, I had the tab was behind some other stuff.
No worries.
All right. Okay, from Jason Crua. What is your No Means No origin story? Okay, he's just sort of answered these in turn. I'm going to ramble through these questions, okay? I got into them after going to Gilman Street in Berkeley around 1986 and getting into the adolescence, Victim's Family. Oh my God, I'm a super fan of Victim's Family. Talked to Ralph and Larry when Dead Bob came here after PRB.
Oh, Punk Rock Bowling.
Thank you. At the end of May 2024, saw them at JMH.
Great American Music Hall.
Thank you. And in Brentwood.
I was at those shows. Dude. We were there together.
Woo!
Hooray. Thank you for helping with the acronyms, this Canadian who never leaves Canada. And Fang, that was a long aside. All the way from oh my God to Brentwood was all between brackets, and then a long ellipsis. And Fang. Okay. I am getting into the adolescence, Victim's Family, and Fang, and Citizen Fish, who I didn't even know were the Subhumans partially at the time, and Neurosis. I'm a super fan of them too, the slower stuff. I went to Gilman Street dozens of times from 15 to 18 years old or so. I have a super old Gilman punch card pass in my shoebox collection. I'm going there on, a little bit past nets now, September 28th of this year to see the legendary Subhumans. Yes, almost 40 years now since it started there.
Sweet.
I had heard about No Means No through a high school friend and started listening to them on cassette tape and mail-ordered Mama on cassette. The first album/LP I bought at the time it came out was 0 + 2 = 1. I was obsessed with that record, and as you all know, there was no mobile phone with music app on it to jam to. It was the diamond to the vinyl, baby.
Hell yeah.
One by one, I get their records crawling through the back catalog via CDs. Everything after 0 + 2, I got it as it came out. I saw them at the Phoenix Theater in Petaluma, Jordan 2. At some point, CDs reigned, and many years later, I bought those stuff on vinyl. I have Fear, Anger, Brad, Oh Canada on 7-inch, and where are they now? Well, they are not. I have those too. They don't get played because I don't have them.
Oh yeah, Brad, that's right.
Yeah. What does No Means No mean to you? They are such a visceral experience. I went and go through all the emotions you explain in your podcast. They carry you through life experiences, the emotions I'd go through listening to them through headphones, doing whatever. I had a paper route and would jam to them and on my Walkman. Yes, rad.
Oh my God.
Me too, man. Rainy Victoria with my my Walkman in a Ziploc bag, delivering newspapers in the dark.
Sweet.
When I delivered newspapers, there was no Walkmans.
I would listen to them on repeat for hours. Weird enough and powerful. It's funny how I read in the No Means No book recently released that Rob had spurned super fandom in a way, but hey, okay. In a way, okay, but hey, buddy, sorry, you put it out there, and we enjoyed the ride. He and the band I'd seen live many times, and they're one of those. You're on an island and have 5 bands music.
Yes,
thing. They're one of the 5 for me.
Yes,
nice.
I could carry on conversations with all of you on any episode, being gregarious in general, and as a super fan of No Means No, I'd love to chat it up, and I bet you'd like my energy. Well, already we do. I'm a recent finder of this podcast after reading the book from Jason Lamb. So this is like 3 years after you posted to email a story. Haha. Well, we kept doing that. Cool though. I'm only on like episode 20 as well. I'll be caught up in some weeks from now. Well, maybe just in time.
Yeah.
My favorite songs are from Dance of the Headless Bourgeoisie. So I was almost done if you hadn't pushed through I Can't Stop Talking, because that album was like 0 to 4 at that point. And I was like, grrr.
Oh, no.
In all good fun. I haven't gotten to an episode of If Gimme the Push has happened yet. So this is a real current suspense for me. That's
it went through. I'm pretty sure it went through. That song fucking blows all the shit out of the water. Anyway, go ahead.
I quote them pretty regularly. Rob and John are my direct reactions to things that happen in the world. I've not only seen them perform live, but they've performed in a couple of my dreams as well over the years.
Yes!
Oh.
I mean, that's saying something.
I live that.
Nobody loves me like I do. Self-pity.
Nice.
Interesting story to tell. This is hilarious. Myself and 2 friends went to the Starry Plow in Berkeley.
Great
California one
venue.
year.
Great venue.
Jello complained about that in the No Means Mo book, little bitch. He was probably there too, of course. Yeah, he was the Hanson brothers. And at one point during the gig, John tilted my friend's head back and put a beer bottle down his throat, not forcefully. and he took a swig of John's beer in the middle of one of the songs.
Whoa.
So funny. And later he yacked outside.
Okay.
I don't think he means talking. I did see John, I think, ordering some food at the small place at one point, and really wanted to walk up and thank him, but he quickly took stock in the moment and how he was how he was as a person, and respectfully didn't chat him up. I'm sure
Probably
he'd
did.
have been nice. I guarantee he would.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
you
he
would have,
would've.
100%.
Yep.
Jello, I think, was bothered they'd play a small place, but I loved it. Thanks for all the episodes and the memories. This band is literally the best. Sincerely, Jason Crua.
Fuck yeah, Jason.
Cool.
And hey, I wanna throw out Story Plow fucking rocked to see No Means No. You could fit like 50 people in there. Holy
Wow.
shit. That was like a little tiny bar. That was not a venue. That was a bar. And I remember one time going up there, my weirdest memory of seeing them there, I saw them several times, was seeing them get up on the stage, and for the sound check, they played oh my God. What's the song? The song I love. I'm so drunk I can't remember. Pray to me. All Lies. All Lies. All
yeah,
Lies.
there we go.
They played All Lies, and I was freaking out, but no one else was. And Tom looked at the audience and went, "This is all lies." Like looking at everybody like, "Why the fuck are you guys
What
not
do you
freaking out?" And I was like,
hear?
"Yes!" And finally, everyone freaked out about it. But
Oh, my
yeah, man,
gosh.
Jason. So Jason, we must have seen each other, especially at that Brentwood show, because there weren't a lot of people there, even though that show fucking rocked. I know John said that too, because every single person in that show was so on it. And they were like,
Yeah,
I brought
stoked,
my
yep.
kids, someone else brought their kids, and everyone was so fucking stoked. So we must have run into each other. I also talked to Larry at that show. So cheers, brother.
Blair.
I'm sure
Yeah.
if we saw each other's pictures, we'd go like, oh, it was you. But anyway, thanks, man, for sending that in. That rocked.
Amazing.
Everybody
Yep.
else, be Jason. Do that. Send us in. Shit. We want to
Jason.
hear it. All right, round 2. Holy shit. Okay.
Hey, can I take a little
Oh, it's time for a
Pee-wee.
tinkle.
nature break?
Parker, this is where you clip out the shit where he goes tinkle. 59 minutes. I'm making a little note. 59 minutes, he goes tinkle.
Yeah.
Let's go pee-pee.
Should I go pee-pee?
Go ahead.
Maybe
if you
I
want.
should.
Why don't you go pee-pee? I'll
I don't
sit
think
here.
I have to, but I might
I've
be
had
able
3
to
beverages
convince
and I still
myself.
don't need to go pee.
All right, I'm gonna try to pee. Gonna try to pee.
And it's just me sitting here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, just sitting here on my own. Hey, everybody, it's me. There's nobody else here. It's just you and me. The hundreds of listeners we have to this podcast. Hey, thanks for listening. We actually do really appreciate your patronage. And I don't mean patronage in a financial sense, because we don't ask for your money. What do we ask for? Your attention. Your attention means everything to us, as does your praise. Are you giving us praise? If you aren't, do it. It's the only thing that keeps us going. Well, not the only thing. Our love of the band. But we appreciate your praise. Do you want to give us that praise on Facebook? Go for it. Do you want to write an iTunes review? Go for it. Give us 5 stars? Go ahead. We haven't had an iTunes review in about 3 years. What are you waiting for? Fucking do it. If you like the show, and if you don't, well, I guess don't. But other than that, tell us what you think of us. We need it.
Are you talking to somebody?
I'm talking to the audience. They're right there.
Oh,
Hey,
I thought
give a
you
little
were-
nod. Hey,
I
everybody.
thought you. Hi there. I thought you paused it.
no, I'm just rambling. Whether this makes
Oh.
it into the show or not, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I kept talking and begging people for their
You
attention and
can't
praise.
stop talking.
That's right. That's why I like
So-
this band.
This is a garage toilet related.
Perfect.
My shop is in my garage, or my office. I have an office part where I record the podcast, and I have a wood shop in the other section where I do my work. And it would be very nice to have a toilet in here. And so I have been doing exploratory surgery on the sidewalk outside, and I've been trying to figure out whether I can connect, like just put a toilet and a cold water sink in here into the corner. It would be amazing to have that, wash up without having to go
Wow.
upstairs. But unfortunately, I found a sewer line on the closest corner of the house to the garage, and I'm like, well, maybe I can tap in there and have.
Do you
the
know how to
slope. It
do
looks like
that?
yeah, it's not that difficult. And
Really?
had this plumber friend of mine look at it, and he's like, that is cast iron pipe that's probably over 100 years old. It doesn't
shit.
have the right diameter. It looks like a 3-inch pipe because that's what you need for a toilet sewer. But the inside diameter is probably not enough. But it looks like, if you keep digging, it looks like it probably goes underground and hooks up to that toilet stack, like the main sewer stack, about 6 feet on. And so I kept digging, and I hit this fucking 45. And
45 what?
Angle, the fucking pipe.
I don't know.
It's not connected. It's not connected to the main sewer stack.
Shit.
It's going like out at a 45. It's now at least 6-8 feet east of the main sewer line.
Oh no!
And it's going somewhere. And
raw sewage?
No. This particular pipe, it drains just the sink, the kitchen sinks upstairs and downstairs, and the dishwashers. That's all it does.
Yeah.
And so underground, it's about 3 feet under the ground.
Sure.
And I could feel that it's warm. This is definitely, not an old pipe or whatever.
Right.
It's like going off at this 45, and I'm like, where are you going? And I stopped.
Come back here.
Like where it dives underneath like the foundation slab of an extension that was put on in the 70s, and like if it keeps going at this angle, it's going to hit the property line within another 6 feet or something. So I'm like, what is this even connecting to? Like, is it going to an old like septic field from before that there was a house there or something?
I know you're gonna have to figure this out. Shit.
Definitively, I definitively, I'm like, okay, this is beyond my skills.
You got to get one of them camera things.
Not possible. Not possible, unfortunately.
You need a stick.
Anyway, got to keep peeing outside, I guess.
Guess so. That's it. You've heard it here, everybody. More pee breaks.
But I did the work, and I would actually prefer to have done the work and figure out, no, I definitely can't do that. Then
now you know. You put in the effort. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're back. We're probably not cutting out any of that. So this next round is another fucking
my plumbing
Jesus
stories
Christ.
are fascinating.
No, they are. That's why we're not cutting it out. We have 2 songs here. The first song in round 2, the kaiju enters the frame. It stomps on the buildings, breathes fire all over your dumbass. It is The Rape from Dance of the Headless Bourgeoisie, 1998. This one out against Black Silhouette in episode 41, clearly unanimous. And I don't think any of us regret that decision. The Rape goes up against fucking shit. Stocktaking off of Wrong, 1989.
You're trembling.
Now, of course, Stocktaking won against Machine in episode 20. That was also unanimous. That's a difficult pull. Machine is a very good song, but Stocktaking won.
So, what episode number was it? Sorry?
20. Episode 20.
Early, yeah.
It was early on. Stocktaking, of course, is our bumper song, so already clearly beloved.
And my internet handle for like
That's
the
right.
first 20 years of the
That's
internet.
right. That's right. So anyway, we're going to, boy, the jokes write themselves, and I can't say a single one of them. So we're just going to put The Rape up against Stocktaking, and we're going to not get canceled and just go ahead and politely mix these 2 songs together in the corner of the room with a well-lighted light pointed at both of them and a checked drink. There you go.
Okay.
I walk around like a zombie or a clown. My feet are yellow clay. My head is talking all the time. Every minute, every second of the day. My knees are weak. My breath, it reeks. My face is lined. I have no time. My lips are dry. They're red. My eyes, my palms are wet. I can't forget. 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 She cheats me. She cheats me. I know it. She cheats me. She cheats me. I know it. She cheats me. 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 I know it. She cheats me. She cheats me. This is the rape. The rape. 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 This is the.
indeed.
Yeah. So, songwriting wise, The Rape is a very songy song.
Okay. Wow, he's got his finger up. He's pointing.
No, I just don't you
It's a
think though? I mean, it's got a chorus and a certain number of things. Just that stock taking structure is a little bit more unique.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
It is very very different. These songs are musically very very different, structurally very
Very.
very different from each other. I think that I drew actually just lines like the feeling of The Rape is really just a big thick cord of energy going straight, whereas stock taking has a lot of energy too, but it's a lot more chopped up and it's a lot more like a wave.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
kind of moves around more. The Rape, to me, both of the songs are really kinesthetic or synesthetic for me, kinesthetic too. But The Rape really makes me feel like storms, cataracts, like moving water, that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whereas stock taking, like something really really constant, whereas stock taking is the tension and release in it, the quiet and the loud are
Yeah.
so in such perfect balance. But yeah, there is more interruption, and one of my favorite things in any song is like the judicious use of arrest.
This is
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the best.
The quiet bits are absolutely
Some of the best
fantastic.
rest.
Yeah. The lyrics, stock taking, not one more word is needed and not one word less to convey what it is trying to convey. It is really a koan, like or a series of koans. I mean, it is the unanswerable question.
Yep.
They are rhetorical, but they are kind of unanswerable as well, and your answer might be different every time you're asked them. So it really reminds me of that kind of Buddhist idea of your answer is determined from how you answer.
Right.
Mhm.
Is The Rape, I almost feel like it could be a play. I could
Yeah.
imagine somebody up on stage with like sets and effects and that sort of stuff, and that it could be, the story could kind of be elaborated, somebody inside somebody's mind. I reacted, I have to admit, when the album came out and everything, just The Rape, it's such a violent phrase. There's so much to it that it makes you think things before you even analyze it. And I
Right.
didn't
Right.
analyze this song for a long time and might not have, you know, they're singing about a rape. It's not going to be literal.
Mhm.
Or maybe there is a literal interpretation, but I'd say there's a lot more to it. And
there's a little rape in the first song on this album in a different way, and they don't say the rape, right? Like,
yeah, this is a song about dissociation. I think where you lose track of, you perpetrate violence against yourself. I wrote myself, like, what is the rape? Is it a loss of idealization? It is a loss of hope. Is it self-sabotage? Is it these violences that we perpetrate against ourselves, like where we trip ourselves up? And I think it's pretty evocative. And having studied neuropsychology and stroke and the effects on the body, like these things are really, it's really hard for me not to think of what pathology, what happened to this person who has their left leg is numb. That's very specific. I can't feel my tongue.
Can't feel my head. I can't feel my head.
My right side is dead. My right side is dead. Immediately went into my training. Like, what is right side is dead? I was trained as a speech pathologist, so that is a left side stroke is, you're going to get weakness on the right side. You're going to get confusion. You're going to get aphasia. You're going to have difficulty understanding and speaking. You're going to get personality changes, and dissociation. So I think the lyrics in the song, I mean, very much connected to the relentlessness of the music. I think just the relentlessness of psychosis and obsession, as well as the disconnection and not knowing oneself, the division. Always just we two thought bloody red and thoughtful blue. The two sides, like your rational and irrational, your animal, your human, or thinking individual. These two sides, which are so, that duality, which is so common in so many of Rob's songs, and I think this is definitely a Rob song.
Yeah.
So they very much matches the lyrics and the music match up, and same Stocktaking as well. It is this constant duality again of your tension, release, your frustration and satisfaction, and your confusion and surety, I guess, or let's see, the performance. Yeah, the Rape may be my favorite song off of Dance. Very, very makes you really, really feel stuff. That relentlessness, and like makes you just want to shout it. Very storm like.
Yeah.
Yeah, feelings of disconnection. There's like where you are just unfamiliar with aspects of yourself. I had this experience, and I just sort of walked into my shop the other morning, and I was just sort of looking at it. It's a little bit messy. I'm like, there's so much stuff in here, and I built everything in here, and I bought all these tools. I decided how to stow them. I don't really remember consciously doing any of it. Like, who the fuck did this? Where the fuck am I? Like, why am I a woodworker?
Oh no!
Jesus Christ!
Because you can be.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, sort of connected with that song on that basis, having had that experience the other morning. I guess that disconnection and that sort of ability to sort of perpetrate violence and confusion on some other aspect of yourself. Highlights. Yeah, I like the little piano bits in the Rape that kind of creep in here and there.
A lot of that on this album. A lot of sneaky keyboards.
Sneaky keys.
Sneaky keys.
I love the relentlessness of the bass line. I love how the tempo of the music and the lyrics interlock differently. The tempos are different. When he goes, I can't forget. I can't forget.
I can't forget. Yeah.
It's and then they like line up at the end. Fantastic. What have I got here? Highlights. The reminds me of like the that Disney, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, with the Mickey Mouse with all the brooms and the storm and everything. That's kind of like,
that's great.
It brings to my mind. I really like how the chorus goes. There's no break in between it. It just goes straight back into the more rolling. And sort of a little bit quieter, a little bit slower tempo of each verse.
Yeah.
Just really cool. Favorite bits of Stocktaking so much. I could listen to, if I had, I don't know, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, it's very much a contender for potentially my favorite No Means No song. Maybe my favorite song of any band, any music.
It's so fucking good.
I'm just kind of blown away by, I can just listen to the song over and over again, not get tired of it,
right?
And feel the same thing each time. It's got that kind of power for me. I mean, just personally resonant, as well as just a structure that really, really appeals to me. And I think just psychologically, the tension and release is very much the kind of person that I am and have been. So yeah, some of my favorite things. I love the snarly, growly stuff.
Oh my god, that is awesome!
And then the tom fill after that. It's like,
God, Jesus.
The tension and release and everything like that. Just the quiet and loud, everything about the song, and then the silly little dancey bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Fucking good. I'm getting the wrong song, but yeah, there's a little sort of.
No, that's right. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
It's fucking good.
Yeah, right before the snarl.
So yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
very, very, very difficult. This is a very difficult thing. The Rape didn't stand out to me. Maybe I didn't let it stand out to me until like later and much more many more listens and analysis and everything like that. It's definitely one of the songs that's risen most among some that have done that. But yeah, a little bit of a surprise that one's as popular for me as it is. And
Yeah.
This is very difficult. These two are very difficult. And
All right.
I'll shut up now.
Michelle.
What?
Para tu.
Me
See.
time? Okay. The rape. I love the starting riff of this song, but I kind of wish they had embellished it a little bit more than what it resolved to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
I
think
that
was my downside. Basically the same thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I didn't understand what you were talking about.
I haven't said it yet.
Lost a bit of the momentum when it went into the main riff of that song. I really like the different ways Rob sings this one. He really adds quite a bit of character to the different sections. A great spot in this is I think you told me she cheats me.
Yeah.
I really, really like that part. And, he does the changes, section. And it's really delivered well. And it's full of pissed offness. Did I say that right? Pissed offness.
Yeah.
When Rob sings, I'm afraid there's nothing left to say. I like how you can hear John sing in harmony with the guitar in a very low voice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
because he does that. Oh no, he does. It's super cool touch to that part, and I wrote it shouldn't go unnoticed, Matthew. Okay, one part I don't like is the now we heavy. This is fun.
From yourself, you cannot run.
I don't like the nan, the kid taunting.
Our internal gremlins, man.
I don't. Maybe I'm listening to it
what it's like to be afraid.
Well, no, I like that, but I don't like the
but that part wouldn't have the power if it didn't come out of the kid.
I'm doing it wrong.
Jeering little gremlins,
But I hear you.
Yeah, totally.
All truth is truth.
I'm looking at it very literally, and not not as a whole.
No, I hear you. You're sonically, it bugs you.
Yes. Okay. Overall, the song though it kicks ass and it's a super powerful laydown. Okay. Stocktaking. Okay. I've alluded to it for years, and now I'm going to say it, and I probably have already off again. This might be one of the best songs they ever wrote. It's in the top 5 for sure. It's perfect.
Oh, yes.
It's just perfect.
Yes.
The way it starts with John's hi-hat work and how Andy thunders in with his colossal question of life. Jesus Christ! The accents being on the 2 and the 5 if you're counting an 8, or if it would be if you're counting in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Jordan, you're going to talk about it too.
I'm going to talk about it.
Oh man, the staccato of the laydowns is so heavy, and when Andy comes in with that same note funk. He's playing one note on the guitar, but he's like,
fuck me, man. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ.
I wrote googly eyes, and you just did them.
Googly eyes aren't big enough. There need to be like kaiju googly eyes, Godzilla googly eyes.
We could vote right now.
No. I want to talk.
No. Okay. This is a song where the heat slowly gets turned up, and each word Andy says is perfectly executed, and to make you shut the fuck up and listen. And it makes you question everything you ever known. This song is a magical masterpiece. The grunty thing Andy does that leads up to the scream, where they all forcibly land on an epic part of the song, which is exactly where the Simone Biles' floor exercise of the drum fills enters the gymnasium.
Shit, nice. That's
you know what I'm talking about. When she's
I thought you were going to say she landed it.
No.
Well, she does land it, but the fucking flip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I'm talking about. Every single one of those fucking fills is a total pants pooper, and it's insane how good it is. Included here is an epic stop of all the instruments involved. Matthew, you talk about when and then they crush back in. This does not disappoint. This song is so good the band should almost be embarrassed. They crack the code of cool, and there's nothing like it. That was funny. This song is a way to think really about life and what is right.
And what is right.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start my thing off with a little missive from Mr. Kerr, because I remembered Andy talking a little while ago, about a year ago, I guess he says anyway, about talking about stock taking and the different ways people hear the downbeat on this or the first beat. So I'm just going to read this from him, and then we can talk about it a little bit, and then I'll give my thoughts on both these songs. So from Andy, stock taking. A year or two ago, my son Boy D was talking to Eagle Eye about stock taking from Wrong. He was describing how he liked the beat and began counting along with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eagle Eye interrupted him to say, the first beat of each 2-bar segment was not where he thought it was, but he insisted it was. She's right, I added. And I wrote the song, so I should know. Then I created a Facebook post about it, and I was shocked to discover that around half of those who were familiar with the song was on side Boy D, while the other half was on side none of your fucking business Eagle Eye. Wanting to settle this once and for all, I dug out the recording from Wrong and had a good listen. And what was the result? Somehow, in the mixing process, the first beat of the solo hi-hat intro had been chopped off. Sigh.
Oh.
No wonder there was a mix-up. Granted, even if the beginning had been left on, it still would have been an odd beat for most. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's how I'm
But that was
hearing it.
exactly the idea I had in mind. Just so you know, all three of us in the band knew where it started. One of us, John or I, would always count it in. Thank you, Andy. Now, I went back and listened to this today, and I don't know if the CD is different, but it absolutely, counting it off, starting with that hi-hat, it leads into 1, 2, 3, 4. So It's not wrong on the CD. Maybe it's wrong on the album, on the vinyl, but it's not wrong on the CD. But in any event, thank you for that. Always fucking great to hear from Andy on one of the best songs ever made. So, okay, The Rape versus Stock Taking. So, I absolutely adore The Rape. This song is a fucking banger. It is definitely one of my favorites off this album. There are many, many, many songs off Dance I love, much like Jason was saying, like he loves this album. Jason, me too. I think this song is fucking great. I don't know what you guys are talking about not resolving well. I think musically this song is fucking aces, is the shit. I fucking love it. What I most love about this song, and love even more now, and what's raising it in my esteem, is this song is slippery as hell. It is definitely a Rob song. It is very difficult to penetrate. It is very difficult to figure out what it means. It is not about sexual violence. It's just not. Listening to it again and again and again, it's just not about that. The Rape is something different. Now I'm firmly convinced, really firmly convinced, and that's my own subjectivity. The Rape is the My Politics of this album. This is about Rob's creative process. This song is about the muse. This is about his experience being an artist and how fucking hard it is. And those little me songs are his inner voice, but they're also the audience. And they're also his experience and his experience with confronting the audience. There are so many lines in this that point me in that direction. I just think it's fucking brilliant. And if you listen to this song and read the lyrics thinking of it that way, it's hard not to start to see everything sort of fall into place in a really, really interesting way. I mean, the naked image grew and stood before my eyes. I'm afraid there's nothing left to say. I can see you turn and walk away. That fear of like, fuck, everything I want to say, everything I think is valuable. I'm afraid there's nothing left anymore. And all of you are just going to fucking just turn away. And that my right side is dead. My right side is dead. I've had panic attacks. The somatic feeling of how panic lives in the body in different parts of oneself and how it really becomes a somatic experience and not just a mental experience. These panic attacks that escalate every time he's like further and further away, that he's being asked to rape the muse to try to bring entertainment to us, and how it's just like, fuck, I can't. She's cheating me. She's not there when I need her. She's not fucking there. I can't just perform for you. I can't just rip it out and bring it. You're all just staring at me on stage and I can't fucking do it anymore. That urgency he has in this song is so fucking intense. And when I listen to this performance in this song, it's so impactful when I listen to it that way, just like My Politics, which is now way more important to me than it used to be, now that I'm listening to it as a very autobiographical song about the creative process. I think it's fucking beautiful. And there are so many subtle lines. Even the thing about like, always just we two, bloody red and thoughtful blue. These are the poles of Rob's songwriting. This angry, dark energy and this thoughtful, introspective, deep self that are always vying in his artwork, that he's always trying to put in front of us. And yet the terror of trying to bring that out from oneself, put it in front of everybody. And what is everybody looking at you? Now we have you. This is from yourself. You cannot run.
I'm not doing that.
Like that's, but that's the fear. And he talked about that, right? And we've heard about the anxiety he had. This is a song embodying that anxiety that we know Rob had performing in front of us live, songwriting, putting his heart and soul into these songs. It is so fucking vulnerable, this song, but vulnerable, hidden behind a layer of occluded poetry that's pretty astounding because it is not evident. This is a very difficult song to parse, much more than I think almost any other song he's written. Yes. This song is really, really hard to crack. But for me, the joy of this podcast is banging my head against this song until finally it was like, oh, fuck. And once that landed for me, and again, this is just for me. I'm not claiming this is actually what Rob had.
No,
now that I'm hearing the song in that light and I read it stanza by stanza, I'm like, oh my fucking God. It also makes the performance of this song better because the way Rob sings it, when I think of this being a deeply personal song and him like shouting into the void about his pain and trying to be an artist and how fucking terrorizing it is, it's like, oh shit, what a song that at one glance seems very held at bay and distant suddenly becomes this deeply personal, vulnerable song. And it's like, fuck, this song is fucking gorgeous. And that last part where it's the, in that chorus before of my right side is dead, my right side, and it's where it's repeated, where he stops repeating that and every verse is different, is so slow and quiet and dark. And I just feel let into this intimate breakdown that this person is having. And it makes me so anxious and yet so empathetic. Like, fuck, I've been there. I know that fucking feeling. And it is so hardcore that he could reach into his depths and write some fucking poetry that was this hard to parse, but the nut has so much fucking meat in it. This guy, man, I love a Rob epic. This guy is so much nut meat. There's so much nut meat in this. It's that nut meat. I'm chewing it down all over my mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So anyway,
this pecan.
And so in that sense, I think the music fits the lyrics very, very well. Even that the part that you don't like sonically, that fits that part of the brain that's like,
you're right.
It's hard to listen to, but that's because it's hard to fucking stomach. And that's why I love that part where sing for us the serenade, what it's like to be afraid. That's Rob busting through. Busting through and being like, you don't know what it's like to be fucking up here, singing to you pieces of shit, staring at me, trying to say.
Maybe you should have sucked.
So it's this, I don't know, man.
Maybe you should suck.
The song is fucking incredible. And then it goes up against Stocktaking, which I have to also admit is one of the best songs that anybody has ever written in human history. It is so fucking good. And this is absolutely one of those songs that makes Wrong one of the most outstanding, surprising albums of all time. Tired of Waiting and this together are like, and I've talked about this before, when I heard this 1-2 punch come up in the album, I was like, who the fuck are these guys?
That's
coming
right.
off of It's Catching Up and The Tower and Brainless Wonder, and then you're like, and then this?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are these people? How do they do this? This is not what I was expecting. I did not expect the Spanish Inquisition. There was fucking... These guys are out of control, and this song is absolutely perfect. It is not. It is absolutely perfect. And
the fluffy pillow.
You both talked about it, and Matthew, that sense of like tension and release, right? Where it's just like, it's so perfect for the questions that are being asked, which are just those kind of questions you don't want to fucking ask or answer, but you have to. And they're unanswerable, and yet they need to be asked. They're the kind of questions we ask ourselves all the time that are unanswerable, and every answer is going to be unsatisfying, right? It's very, and God, the music in this is incredible. What they do with such simplicity and such power and such precision and such, even though the sentiment is not difficult to parse, this is another one of those things where where the rape has such deeply buried poetry that I respect. This has poetry that's right on the surface, but is no less depthful and is no less fucking important. And it shows that sometimes you can point to something so universal that everybody can relate, and you don't need to dig deeply, but it's not shallow. It's the kind of pit that everybody can walk up to and say, that's a bottomless pit, right? Like there's no bottom to that. And I can appreciate that. I don't need to like be an archaeologist and get out my little fucking tools to dig in and see what's buried there. I just know. I just feel by stumbling up against it. And this song absolutely gives it to you. And paired with
so much becomes so little. When does
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Like,
and not just that, when does too little become too much end. Right? Like that, the way that they end this is just like fucking shit. It is absolutely incredible. Incredible. Highlights. So highlights they're all highlight, right? But highlights of the rape for me right now, the highlight is my finally feeling I've cracked the song for me. So going back in and reading the lyrics and listening to it with that way completely recontextualized what was already a really important song for me in the sense of what it was saying to me, but I couldn't quite get it. Now that I've for myself have contextualized it, even just my own subjective understanding, I just am blown away by the way Rob can talk about that experience. And as an artist, as someone who's spent a fucking 30 years trying to dig into that level and really try to show two people in person as an actor, right? Like that part of myself, I really understand that. Like I really vibe with that feeling of fuck. It's so freeing and also paralyzing and dark to try to expose oneself in that way. So I really appreciate that in Rob. And I think that that's one of the reasons I really glom onto his epics, because there is something in him in particular that resonates in myself. And so my highlight is finding the key for myself in this song and realizing it's way more than I thought it was, even though I already fucking loved it. And also the ending part. I think that ending stanza where he goes really quiet for the last couple of verses and then really builds it up is fucking out of control. Stocktaking, what the fuck? The whole thing is a highlight. It's short enough. You don't have to pick out a highlight. The whole fucking song is a highlight. It's just absolutely, it is flawless.
Yep.
There's just everything about it feels like it was placed from somewhere else and went, I'm going to give you guys this one. Like you said, Michelle, they should be embarrassed like this. It's like, no one deserves to make a song this good. You don't, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Like you didn't earn this. It's not like, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Just, here you go. Here's some holy crumbs for you to pass on to the population out there in the world. And I'm grateful to gobble those fucking crumbs up. If we have to. But Jesus Christ. And lowlights, nothing in either song for me. There's no lowlights. They're both masterpieces. The Stocktaking is anybody who finds any flaws with this, the flaws in yourself. Like find the mote in your own eye. Physician, heal thyself. Because there's nothing wrong with Stocktaking whatsoever. I do think it's interesting, both songs in how the rape has these differing riffs that play off of each other that make it really hard to nail down in terms of time signature and where the beats are, and they play off each other so interestingly. Stocktaking does that in a much more stripped down way, but I think that 1, 2, 3, that puts one off balance. So both of these in a different way musically put one off balance, but they both have that gorgeous, sumptuous, savory, holographic element to No Means No that I love so much. And I think they're highlights of these two eras in terms of talking about the oeuvre, right? Like they're both really good pinnacles of what was different about the eras, but what was so juicy. So anyway, that's me edging into round 2. So I'll pass it off and Matthew, let you go to round 2 here.
Okay. All right. Yes. The rape representative. I guess I didn't actually say my low light of the rape, and it is that it is very representative of 90s No Means No in a way. It's a great song, but it is more of its time.
Yeah, you have that with a couple of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Stocktaking is, it's a perfect distillation of what I value about No Means No. So very representative of what I think is important and what is important to me. I think they're both super important in their oeuvre. The rape is thinky, way more thinky than I gave it credit for.
Yep.
You know, it's really stupid of me to have reacted the way that I did to it. I think just the title is unfortunate in a way, because people react to that. People will think certain things about the song, even if they don't know a lot about the band and not look more deeply into it. So yeah, I think it's an important one for sure, and I hope that people look past it more than I did, and maybe got more out of it earlier on in their listening than I did. Stocktaking is like very perfect, very, very important in everything about No Means No to me. Newbie, I think I'd introduce both of them. Yeah, for sure. I think Stocktaking is fantastic. It's got so much going on, and there's so many entry points to it. I mean, it's just fascinating right from the beginning. It's just a hi-hat.
Yep.
And then it builds and where does it go? And the rape is just a torrent. It's a thunderstorm.
Torrent,
just absolutely fantastic, powerful song. And I'm really glad, Jordan, that you came up with that interpretation, because that kind of helps me like it even more. That it is, I definitely the dissociation and internal conflict, but I hadn't associated it with the creative process or the anxiety of performing live, or the conflict that you have with performing live, and the relationship with the audience. All of that is fantastic, and like I love thinking of the audience as the horrible little imps.
Right. Right. Well, it reminds me of Bo Burnham. I just was watching the shit from Make Happy, where he's like at that very end of that piece, and he's looking at the audience. It's like, I need you and I hate you, right? Like he is the Rob Wright of comedians, in my opinion. Like he's got that very naked sense of like, I'm an artist, but you guys fucking scared the shit out of me, and he's very naked about that. So yeah, it's very much.
I should watch it Inside again. That was
God, that's so
really
good.
Something else.
Fucking hell, that guy. Anyway,
you got a point. Yeah, you got a point about that. The Rob Brady comedy.
Yeah.
I wonder what he'd think of that.
I know, right?
Characterization. Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. So that's what I got to say.
Excellent, Michelle.
Would you? Can I just? I didn't write this down, but that Nirvana song "Rape Me," wasn't that kind of along the same? I mean, he got in trouble because of the song title, and they didn't want him to sing the song on Saturday Night Live, I think.
I don't know that I've dug into it enough to say that, but probably.
Kind of in the same way.
I would assume that Cobain is going to be.
Yeah.
It's understandable that, people do react. It's a
violent phrase.
It's a violent phrase.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're doing.
Don't like to use it. There are certain words that are so powerful that I just, you got to be careful how you use it.
Right.
Maybe,
yeah.
Like for me, I don't use the verb to hate unless I really mean it. I think it's very powerful, and you should be careful what you say you hate.
Oh wow! Good
and
for you.
Rape is maybe another one where I'm like, maybe I just don't have the attention span to figure out what they mean by that.
Okay. Anyways, is the rape representative? Yes, it is. Heavy loads of attitude, smashing drums, thundering through it. I like how you said it was like a storm. I forget which word you used, Matthew, but I like
cataract.
I like that. It's a later work topper.
Do you guys know, like, what that? Sorry, do you guys know that word? Do you associate that word with a waterfall?
I do, yes.
Like,
so cataract, not just an eye thing. Yeah,
I think all I know is eyes, because
it's also like a really like a tumultuous part of a river where like the current gets fucking crazy.
This is one of these places where I'm like, I have pretty big vocabulary for English speaker and stuff like that, and I know it is an English word, but I don't know because I speak French, and cataract is the word for waterfall. So I don't know how.
Oh, no kid.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, no, I've never heard. All I know is the eyeball thing. Topper with few flaws that carry the listener through loads of heady scenes. That I'm talking about the rape. That is Stocktaking is biblical shit. It's beautiful to me as much as most love the river. I said it. I just said it. Okay. It's pinnacle no means no, and if you don't become engrossed with it, you're so fucked. Now I'm getting like pissy. Would I play these songs? The rape, I don't think I would play it for somebody. Maybe I'd play it and just have it be background stuff, but nothing to showcase anything. Stocktaking, this is going to be played at my funeral.
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Representative nature. Yes, I think they're both representative in different ways. I think the rape is representative of a Rob epic. I think this is a Rob epic, not a slow Rob epic, but a fast Rob epic. I think it's definitely a Rob song. I think it's very complicated emotionally, musically, intellectually, in that way that just scratches an itch for me. And I think it's very, there are a number of songs like this of his that I absolutely fucking love. And I feel like are really emblematic of one of the things I love most about this band, that no other band scratches that itch for me, period. End of story. Like even my other favorite bands just don't. And this song's very emblematic of that for me. So for me personally, would I say that of the wider thing of their band, of the band? I'm not sure, but for me, it's incredibly emblematic, especially off this album. In the way in an opposite way, but very much a Rob way of this. The World Wasn't Built in a Day is incredibly emblematic of a Rob epic on this album. They're so diametrically opposed and yet tied together so tightly to me. So I think it's very emblematic in their oeuvre and very important in that sense, especially of their later period. I think it shows the power that Rob had to propel this band forward, absent of Andy, who was such a tight, important force, that Rob still had an energy and a depth that could bring forth things that were absolutely fucking stunning and incredible. Stocktaking, I mean, there's no way you don't say this isn't one of their most important songs. This is so emblematic. This is so perfectly distilled of everything that is No Means No, especially of the Andy era. And I must say that for myself, the more I'm doing this podcast, I more firmly feel that there are two bands we're talking about, whereas before I resisted that more. Yeah. I had more of an inner resistance to thinking that there were two bands and wanted to feel more of a thread. And now for me, it's more like, it's kind of two bands, even though it's one. But Stocktaking is absolutely a pinnacle of the emblematic nature of what this band could do when all cylinders were firing in perfect conjunction, and something that nobody else can fucking do. There is absolutely not a band on earth that can make Stocktaking. There's just not. I don't fucking care. You can show me all the other prog rock, jazz rock, math rock bands in the world. None of them would do what fucking Stocktaking did.
They'd all be slightly too busy.
They'd be too busy.
They'd all be slightly too much.
The singing would be too arch. It would be too... It's just none of it. This is just like... It took these people. It took Andy's perfection in his vocals. It took John's absolute mastery. It took Rob's fucking bass sound and restraint. It took fucking... Restraint. Everything is just perfectly distilled to make like, oh, well, here's my little tincture of No Means No. Let me put that on your tongue and you're fucked for life. Sorry. That's it. You're done. You're done. This is like DMT. If some of the other songs are like LSD, this is the DMT of No Means No. It just puts you there. Do I love the river more? Yeah, as a sentimental favorite because of what it means to me. Yeah, but I'm not going to argue. If this song became the song that came out at the end of this podcast, I'm not going to cry about it. This song is perfect. It's perfect. I'm not going to argue with that. It's perfect. I'm going to argue my case for other songs, but that's subjective. This song subjectively is objectively, this song is just perfect. There's not, what are you going to say about it? Fuck you if you have anything else to say about that. I don't care. Now, what's even better is with Tired of Waiting, it gets even better. Yeah. How does a song so perfect be even better played against another perfect song? I don't fucking know, but Jesus H. Christ, if anything makes me believe in God, it's the existence of art like this. I don't know, right? Like, give me a break. How are we humans capable of making shit like this? And this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say right now. I was thinking about this the other day. Fuck science. Not really. You know what I mean? Listen.
All right.
Art is far greater of an achievement than science, mathematics, physics, because all of those things are objective. You have to agree on all of them. They're us figuring out the fundamentals. For a human being to be able to create something so subjective that is so powerful, that can be so fucking perfect on its own, but have no relationship to those seemingly objective things, that is a far greater achievement in the universe than fucking coming up with math and science, which were already there for us to find. This goes past that. This makes something new that still makes me feel in a way that the other shit just can't. As much as I appreciate all that and know it's important, it's shit like this that makes me know that art is the absolute pinnacle of human fucking achievement, full stop. So fuck you, AI. You will never come close to any of this shit.
You
and
are
that's why
on
humans,
fire tonight.
I'm sorry, but that's why humans will never be
No.
supplanted by
Bring
fucking
it.
those idiots.
Yeah.
So anyway, newbies.
Wow.
Murdered baby, just not supplanted.
Yeah, newbies. Is The Rape a newbie song? I don't know. Probably not, because I think it's very musically amazing. I'd be worried, much as you've talked about, Matthew, of people being turned off by not being able to pay attention to it, just hearing The Rape and kind of going like, what the fuck is this? Musically, I think it's amazing, but I wouldn't make this a first. Stocktaking is the newbie song. This is like, I'm sorry, this is the song you play for a newbie, and everybody is going to hear something in this.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to it deeply, but you're going to be
Chose it for
caught
our
by it.
intro and
It's
outro
also
for a reason.
short enough. It's short enough that you don't have to give it a lot of time. So you can really say to someone, hey, listen to this. I've also seen people, when this comes on, you just stop and listen. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Should be called Stop
This
Taking.
is the new, exactly. This is the newbie song. For this question, this is the platonic newbie song. So would I play this for a newbie? I have, I will, I shall, I did, and I will do
will
again.
Do every time this
All right.
podcast starts.
Round 3, Matthew, voting.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that much of a
Not really.
not much of a struggle, but okay. Rape is an awesome, like, Italian Greek steakhouse. You go there and you are like eating lobster tails and pizza and steak and a great big beer and also a fucking half liter of wine, and you come out and you're stuffed and you've had so many awesome delicious things and it just keep coming, and you're kind of tired and maybe you don't want that again for a while.
Okay.
Whereas Stocktaking is like absolutely fucking beautiful piece of art. It's a bento. It is an absolute perfect bento where every little element is in its little place.
Nice.
And it looks absolutely perfect.
Nice.
And it's got the exact preparation that it needed. It's got the exact little lick of soy sauce on it. It is absolutely beautiful. You almost don't want to eat it.
But you do.
You will eat
again
it,
and again and again. You'll order more of it.
You crave it every lunch hour. If you
Every
can.
lunch hour, exactly.
Wow, I love that.
Michelle, how about you?
Sky.
So,
is,
anyway.
Oh, we know. Stocktaking.
Oh,
We got it. We got it.
Is it my turn to vote?
It's your turn to vote.
I would like to vote for the bento box.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's coming down the conveyor belt, baby.
Yeah. Are you
All right.
going to eat it?
So, along with the metaphors, the rape to me is the joy of being up at 4 a.m. in a dark room over a book, coming up and coming up against an idea that just fucking blows me away. And I feel this sense of being led into a secret, led into something really real and vulnerable, but on my own in this dark place that just feels very personal. And that's a time for me that's very sacred. So it feels very sacred in that way. And it feels wonderful in that way. And I'm so grateful for it because it gives me a sense of ownership over this art in a way that feels deeply personal. Stocktaking is standing out under the stars at night and just being like, what the fuck is this? And just being in awe of something and losing myself. Whereas the rape brings me into myself and takes me deeper analytically and maybe empathetically. Stocktaking just takes me out of myself and I'm just free of all of that complication and just able to just fucking be like, okay, just fucking bring it. Just bring it.
Wow.
So while I love both these songs, Stocktaking is absolutely the winner by I don't know what leagues, but I love the rape. So that says a lot about Stocktaking because it's not easy. I love the rape.
Right, yeah.
But Stocktaking is just like, it's perfect. I got nothing bad to say yet. It's a perfect song. So that's it. We've done it.
Jesus.
Stocktaking. Yeah.
maybe this isn't the right time for it. Maybe it isn't the right forum, but it is the little soapbox that I have.
Do it.
What?
And I'm hoping that we'll get another episode out before this, but this might be the only episode that comes out before the American election.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, for American listeners, hey, I'm not saying to vote one way or the other, but
I am.
You should, but I'm not telling you that. But do fucking vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't just cool your heels this time. Don't fucking say, oh, it doesn't make any difference. It's all the same. It isn't the fucking same.
Nope.
And not everybody listening gets to fucking make that vote. So don't fucking waste it.
Please.
Thank
Fucking
you.
do
Please
it.
and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And we'll end it at that, but please and thank you. So listen, Junk had a bigger package than the other human. And so it goes ahead and Stocktaking. Well, you know, I took stock of that rape and just said it's got to come out on top. So, and to Corey, unlike what Matthew told you in email, those are not pre-written jokes in a Google joke doc. Those are all off the dome. Some of them are more successful than others, but I just want to make it clear that those very awkward dad jokes are just off the dome. So
Yeah.
anyway, No Means No Thing is produced and edited by yours truly, Jordan Flato. Co-hosting and podcast graphics, excellent podcast graphics are by Matthew Kowalik. If you're not seeing those somewhere, what the fuck are you doing? Go on to Instagram or Facebook. Michelle Stranges is our third and everyone's favorite co-host, especially Mr. Kerr, and official Foley artist. And I'm going to add this in. Sound mixing is now by my boy, Parker Flato. Thanks, Parker.
Hey-o.
Shout out to our official mascot, Teddy.
Teddy.
Thank you to No Means No for the use of Stocktaking, the absolutely perfect song, as our intro and outro music. I see him crouched before some horrible machine. All right, here we go. Next round, ladies and gentlemen. I do not remember if I correctly removed the songs from this week, so I guess we'll find out shortly, won't we? Supporting materials, round 2.
Are you spinning the wheel?
I'm getting ready to. I forgot to open it up in advance, a little HTML
Do you
file.
push
Okay,
a
here we
button
go.
to spin the wheel? Do you push a button to spin the wheel?
Oh, boy.
Oh,
God damn it.
Uh-oh.
It's a good one. It's fun. Wait, where the fuck did it go?
I don't see it.
Where the fuck is my... Oh, there we are. Here we are. It just opened up in the same browser. Okay, here it comes in chat. That's a tough one for me. All right, next round. Nope, I forgot to take them out, so I have to keep doing it until I get...
Wait a minute. Are you going to do the first one again?
Oh! No. Oh!
Are you going to show up?
There we go.
Oh, well.
I'm kind of happy with that one. I'm hoping that it bodes good things for me personally, but let's see.
Careful now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you very much. Next week is also not next week. What the fuck am I saying? Next month, probably. It's going to be a fun episode, just like this one. I think this is a good episode, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think we all had good things to say. Hope
you
guys
were
liked
on fire,
it.
man.
All of you guys,
yeah.
all you guys were on fire. You guys said fucking,
I don't know.
this was great. I think all of us were firing on all cylinders for this one. I think a lot of good hay was made. So anyway, we appreciate you being here. And I just want to make sure that you remember to fuck off.
Oh, jeez.